This is like a saga. It should have its own playlist. Like every week for 4 straight weeks, we've had a video to make about a seasonal affix. I want to know. I want to know your thoughts on that before we even talk about what's changed this week. Like, doesn't that seem kind of weird? I think it's really good. I think it's a really good thing because it means that they probably have changed Prideful 4 times, right? Like the first time we ever had a seasonal fix, I'm sure they changed it many times, right? But the weird thing is they stated this like design philosophy, like here's what we want, and we're not. It's not happening anymore. It's like so far, we're so far away from that now. I don't know why they stated it. So I don't know. This is kind of strange. Is it normal? No, absolutely not. Is it a good thing? Yeah, probably. It might seem weird. I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's like really good or really bad? Like, what do you think is happening here? Because now we have the strangest change that I think could come, other than a full redesign of it. So, yeah, they've made a massive change to it. This is like truly massive, to be honest. Now it's everything is better about it, like stronger. Everything is more, higher numbers. Okay, so it's now 30% damage increase. It used to be 15%. Okay, but for some reason, the passive, like the affix, passively gives 5% more health to a dungeon concept that already has health scaling. So how the hell does that work? Like, what actually happens there? Does the regular keystone scaling happen and then 5% more of that? Or is it I don't understand this. So at at a glance, it's like, oh, we're getting a ton more damage, but only 5% more health in the mobs. Well, that sounds good, right? But it's like, how does that work when we're doing a 30? I don't really understand the whole. I'm a very I have like no concept of math. Like I have to see it. I can't think it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So when I hear 5% more, that means almost nothing to me. Like it doesn't really make sense to me. So if somebody is very keen on how math works, especially in WoW, because I do think it's not just me. I do think WoW is kind of confusing when it comes to math, like especially with stats. You have haste and a haste percent, and then you get a buff, a 20% haste buff, but it doesn't give you 20% more haste. It gives you 20% of the 15% haste that you already have added on to that. That's confusing as shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. So anyway, you guys tell me, what do you think is happening here? But my thoughts. And then it also makes the stun duration 5 seconds. It also makes the damage much higher. And it also, they also made it so it makes you immune to being moved around or whatever, knockbacks and slows and stuff. That was earlier in the week. That was like Tuesday or Wednesday that happened. And I think there was one other small thing, but no, I think that's it now. So this is a saga. Like I said, this is now 4 changes. It's completely unrecognizable to where it started. It's now an actual pure, like straight up power buff. Okay. But there's one thing that I think somebody brought this up to me, and I actually didn't really think about it until right now. The big difference between this seasonal fix and every other seasonal fix is it has nothing to do with the route. Nothing. So this is completely tank agnostic, right? You cannot control this. You cannot use this. I really hope I have some small inkling in my head that these people are going to be like, you got to wait for thundering. I can hear that in my head. Don't pull the boss until thundering. I'm I could hear that in my head, okay? And I could see the person, I could see the class, the fire mage there, standing there, jumping around, waiting for thundering so he can pop combustion. So now that it's a 30% buff, yeah, that's a lot better. It's still not it's still not that great. I mean, 30% is good. Now, if you watch the footage from yesterday, yeah, it was pretty good. At times when I had it and I'd pop like this trinket is ridiculous, by the way. I think it's just overtuned, but I have this trinket that does like top damage on every pack. So when I pop that with the 30% damage buff, it's good. Let's put it that way. It's also really nice for blood DK because, yeah, actually, there's no change to healing, is there? I just realized that. Or what? Oh no, it says damage and healing, but on the Wowhead thing, it says healing. It doesn't say healing. But yeah, so that's how little Wowhead cares about healers or tanks, I guess. They don't even talk about it, but it says here. I didn't actually look for sure, but I'd imagine that this is correct. It grants them damage and healing for 30%. So this is just getting better and better for Blood DK. And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, I don't really know what's going on with Blood DK, but it's pretty much unkillable. I could literally solo every single pack in these dungeons, and we're scaled. 392 we were scaled to yesterday. I could solo every single pack. Any pack that doesn't have an actual mechanical complexity that I cannot handle alone, I could solo that entire dungeon. It's kind of wild, and the trinket helps, but it's kind of wild. So this seasonal affix is probably the best thing that could possibly happen to a Blood DK. As long as people don't try to overthink it and they don't make my life hell, I think this is really good because, like I said, this affix is not going to be a mob that you have to pull. It's not going to change count. It's not something people could accidentally mess up. You know what I mean? It's not something that if you don't do it the way somebody wants it to, there's no recovering. You know, the key's over. This is a really, it's like a low profile affix, but it's getting stronger and stronger each week. So it's almost like can there be a fifth week of this? What could they do? What could they do week 5? They could stop this. They could revert it, right? I think that would be week 5. They would revert this. And honestly, I think they should do that. I don't know how this health scaling thing works, but let's just not do that. I think 15% is fine. I really do. I don't think you need to buff it. I don't think you need to try to compensate for the buff with the 5% more health. I'm good. I'm good with 15, man. I think 15 is better. I would prefer a even lower profile one. You know what I mean? I don't think it matters at this point. As long as it doesn't change dramatically, I think we're in a good place. You know, I really do. I don't think we need to get any more power from it. And I don't think it really even has to exist. Like I said, man, I don't really think seasonal affixes need to exist. So whatever. But anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I do think if it stays this way, it's going to be great. I'm not a big, I'm just a little worried. That 5% thing's really on my head. And I don't know if that's something I should be worried about or not. But yeah, the more power we get from it, the more overpowered Blood DK gets. Because this is bigger umbilicuses, this is more healing, yeah, so bigger absorbs, death strikes, AMS. I mean, presumably it does everything. This is the good thing about this now, that we are getting it every single time it goes out. I have almost no... Oh, I also want to tell you, 2 weeks ago, I was looking at human, because when you get it and you get if somebody doesn't clear it or whatever and you get stunned, you could use human racial to get rid of it. Now yesterday I tried that and it got rid of it, but it immediately reapplied, and I couldn't fully understand what we were looking at there because it looks like it lost a second when I used it. Like it went away. It was a 4-second debuff when it went away, and it came back and it was like a 2-second debuff. It goes away for a split second and then returns. And I don't really know what the hell that is. So it seems like human racial. I think they probably should make it so human racial doesn't work on it, because that would be I don't really want to go human. I was actually thinking about it. Like I kind of do want to go human, but I would prefer not to go human for that reason. So I'm thinking about going human. But anyway, it seems like it doesn't work all of a sudden. 2 weeks ago it worked perfectly. This week it got rid of it and it came back. So I don't know what that's about. But AMS prevents its stun, so you use AMS at the last second, or you could use Icebound. Icebound now is only a 2-minute CD, I think, baseline. So yeah, this is a very, very, very good affix for Blood DK. Let's put it this way. I know everybody's talking about other tanks, like, Blood DK is not the sexy pick anymore. But when you have a tank that is basically born for this affix, I mean, it's really crazy. You have no downside to this affix. This is actually going to be a very interesting season to solo stuff. So yeah, we might get to that. We'll see, especially but Quarter Star's back. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I assume this will be this change. I mean, it has to be. If they change it again, if we're back here next week, it's going to be a hell of a video. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.